Let me begin by gently asking you an important question. If a quiet government decision was made overnight that could affect seniors living on fixed incomes, would you rather hear clear, calm facts now or find out later through confusing headlines and rumors that only create unnecessary worry? That question matters because in the very early hours of the morning, while most households were still asleep, a quiet confirmation moved through internal government channels. There were no breaking news alerts, no speeches, and no public announcements meant to grab attention. Instead, approval appeared through Treasury documentation, the kind that usually signals a shift from discussion into early action. This approval relates to a revised structure connected to the proposed $2,000 tariff rebate checks. And while it arrived quietly, it carries real meaning, especially for seniors across the country. Let me slow everything down for a moment and sit with you here, because moments like this deserve calm, careful explanation, not noise or pressure. My name is Sara, and for years I have focused on helping older Americans understand financial updates that affect their stability, their benefits, and their peace of mind. I have spoken with retirees who budget every dollar carefully, widows who manage everything on one monthly deposit, and couples who never imagined that retirement would require this much calculation and restraint. I want you to know from the start that my role here is not to create urgency or excitement. It is to offer clarity, reassurance, and honest context so you are never left guessing or worrying unnecessarily. What happened overnight was not the sudden launch of a brand new program. The tariff rebate framework has existed for some time, funded by revenue collected from imported goods. That detail matters. This is not the same as a traditional stimulus plan that requires lengthy political debate and new congressional authorization. The money already exists within an established structure. What changed is how the Treasury is now allowed to prioritize and review eligibility within that structure. This shift came after updated economic data was reviewed, and those numbers confirmed what many seniors already know from daily life. Fixed incomes are under growing pressure, grocery prices have climbed steadily, prescription costs add up faster than they used to, utility bills rise quietly, sometimes without warning. Each increase may seem manageable on its own, but together they slowly squeeze the room you once had to breathe. For people still working, there may be ways to adjust when costs rise. Extra hours, side income, or job changes can sometimes help. But for retirees, those options are limited. Income does not rise just because expenses do. Earlier versions of this program focused more heavily on working households affected by tariffs. That approach made sense at the time, but the latest internal reviews revealed something that could no longer be ignored. Seniors, especially those relying mostly on monthly federal benefits, are absorbing rising costs faster and with fewer ways to recover. That recognition led to a quiet but meaningful restructuring of the review process. This was not a political announcement. It was an administrative decision. That is why it arrived without fanfare. But the absence of noise does not mean the absence of importance. Now let's stay grounded and realistic. This approval does not mean checks are being sent immediately. It does not guarantee that every senior will qualify, and it does not establish a fixed payment date. What it does mean is that seniors with limited financial flexibility are now being evaluated earlier in the process instead of being automatically reviewed later. Earlier attention can matter a great deal when budgets are already tight. The rebate program operates within an existing system, which means progress happens in stages. First, eligibility models are finalized, then records are matched across federal databases. After that, payment methods are verified. Only when those steps are completed does distribution begin. This process takes time, and it is designed that way to reduce errors and protect recipients. If you are wondering where you might fall within this system, that question is completely understandable. Current guidance suggests that priority is being given to seniors whose household income depends primarily on federal benefits. This includes Social Security retirement benefits, supplemental security income, disability benefits, and survivor benefits. These households often have very little room to adjust. Nearly every dollar already serves a purpose, whether it is food, medication, transportation, or utilities. Income levels are part of the evaluation, but they are not the only factor. Seniors with total annual income under roughly $30,000 were identified as especially vulnerable to rising costs. Within that group, those receiving around $1,300 a month or less were seen as having almost no margin for unexpected expenses. And when income drops closer to $1,100 a month or below, even modest increases in living costs can quickly throw everything off balance. Another factor now being weighed more carefully is flexibility. Working households sometimes have the ability to earn more when prices rise. Retirees usually do not. A fixed income offers predictability, but it also limits adjustment. That reality is now reflected more clearly in how reviews are prioritized. Many seniors also benefit from long-term stability in their records. Years of consistent benefit history, unchanged direct deposit information, and stable addresses can make verification easier. When records match cleanly across systems, reviews often proceed more smoothly. That does not guarantee speed, but it can reduce complications. Still, honesty is important. Being reviewed earlier does not mean immediate payment. It means earlier consideration. Delays can still occur due to address changes, bank updates, or mismatched records. These delays are not penalties. They are part of ensuring accuracy before funds are released. One point that brings relief to many people is this: most seniors do not need to apply for anything. There is no special enrollment site, no form to rush through, and no deadline that requires panic. The program relies on information already held by federal agencies. If verification is needed, it will appear through official and secure portals, such as your IRS online account or your My Social Security account. Legitimate agencies will not contact you unexpectedly by phone, text, or email asking for personal information. If anyone requests your full Social Security number, bank login details, gift cards, or payment to unlock or speed up a rebate, that is not legitimate. That is a scam. Pausing, hanging up, and seeking advice from someone you trust is always the right response. The most practical step you can take right now is simple. When you are comfortable, review your address and direct deposit information in your official accounts. Confirm that your bank account is still active. Look for small errors. These details are often the cause of delays, not eligibility itself. Beyond that, patience is far more helpful than urgency. Another common concern is whether receiving a tariff rebate could affect existing benefits. This is an important question, and it deserves a clear answer. The rebate is not treated as earned income. It is not wages. It is not designed to replace or alter ongoing benefits. It is categorized separately as a rebate tied to tariff revenue. As a result, it is not intended to reduce Social Security retirement benefits, interfere with cost of living adjustments, or trigger new benefit reviews simply because it was received. For those receiving supplemental security income, caution is understandable. SSI rules are strict, and financial changes can feel risky. Current guidance indicates that the rebate itself is not considered ongoing income for SSI calculations. However, if funds remain unused for an extended period, asset limits could eventually come into consideration. Using the funds for essential expenses aligns with the program's intent and can help avoid complications. Receiving this rebate does not place you under special scrutiny. Eligibility review happens before approval, not afterward. The purpose is to reduce financial strain, not create additional stress. As for timing, it is important to approach expectations carefully. The approval granted overnight allows the system to move forward, but it does not finalize distribution. Progress may appear first as internal updates or status changes within official portals. Some seniors may see movement sooner due to straightforward records. Others may experience longer timelines due to small verification needs. Waiting can feel heavy, especially when every dollar counts. But slow progress does not mean stalled progress. Many meaningful changes occur quietly before they become visible. Before we close, I want to acknowledge something that numbers and systems often miss. For years, many seniors have adapted quietly, choosing less expensive options, delaying repairs, adjusting comfort to manage costs, carrying financial pressure without complaint. These choices reflect strength, not weakness, but they also reveal how much effort it now takes to maintain stability in retirement. This update does not erase those challenges. A single payment never could. But recognition matters. Being seen matters. Acknowledging that fixed income households experience rising costs differently matters. If you have ever felt that your sacrifices went unnoticed, please know this: you are not invisible. You are responding to an economy that has changed faster than retirement incomes were designed to handle. That is not a personal failure. It is a structural reality. My purpose in sharing this information is simple: to help you feel informed rather than anxious, to replace rumors with understanding, and to remind you that clarity and patience are powerful tools. As things continue to develop, I will keep watching carefully and sharing updates only when there is real, confirmed movement worth knowing about. Until then, take a breath, stay patient, stay informed, and remember, you deserve stability, dignity, and peace in this season of life.